Anti-Afro-Svengalis, I'm coming on here to make sure everybody is aware of something about the mental health profession that you may not know. And it's my duty to report to you how incredibly unethical and outrageously inappropriate it is for a therapist or any other mental health professional or social service provider to come online and publicly shame someone for their criminal record. And this is what Dumpsey is doing. Dumpsey hosted a live stream where supposedly the criminal record of, they're saying it's remix, was revealed. And it is absolutely outrageous in every sense of the word. Now, let me make it very clear. If there is someone who is non reformed and they are posing a risk to the community, that's one thing. But to host, and we've seen this again from public servants, hosting these extensive live streams where they are vilifying someone for traits that they have or a situation involving the legal system. You can have a discussion. It's not about having a discussion, it's how the discussion is held and what purpose it serves and what is being stated. And the things that were being stated was just, this is not behavior that is ethical or appropriate. Now, let me tell you something that's more exacerbating. Dumpsey slash D.Derell has come on the airwaves and made it very clear he is in the process of trying to get certified to be a domestic violence group facilitator slash treatment provider, which means those individuals who have been in the court system and have been convicted of qualifying DV cases, whether they have a plea bargain or they go through trial, whichever it is typically they're pleading the case. And this course is designed to help people avoid getting felonies because that's the goal, to focus on the different issues. And in order to be a provider for people who are connected to the justice system, not just domestic violence issues, whether you're working with child welfare, aka dependency court, juvenile court, criminal court, any situation where people are involved with the legal system, you have to go through a process to be evaluated for your appropriateness as a provider. This would not be something that any provider would agree with, that is certifying someone. It's outrageously, it's disgusting. It doesn't even make a difference what your opinion is about a person. Now, also, let me make it clear. There have been people who have tried their hardest to come on here, and I'm going to be posting a video. It's one of the series that I'm doing about the person Tiffany came on and give her opinion about things, and some of the things that she was saying on point, but other things were missing because the context was not there. One of the comments that she made was, "You're a therapist," something to the effect, and we've heard other people say this. Notice how the person who gets the most upset about what I'm going to say is Dumpsey. It doesn't bother me when people make the statement because I know it doesn't apply to me. It applies to Dumpsey because what he's doing. So the statement goes something along the lines of, well, you're a therapist and this is not what a therapist should do. Well, what people don't seem to realize, therapists are not doormats. Therapists can respond to attacks. The other part that people don't quite understand is they believe that people you work with are always sweet and nice and thankful and grateful and rolling out red carpets and praising you 24/7. No. There are situations where you have a high level of being unable to predict what someone's going to do or say. People get very upset. People engage in inappropriate behavior, and you address it. You don't ever let someone go, quote, just completely make inappropriate statements and scream and holler and lose control, and you just, okay, you're in therapy, and so therefore I'm going to, no, 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 no. There is a means of intervention. So what people are trying to convey to me is I'm supposed to treat the verbally abusing, harassing, attacking, right? Threatening to rape and sexually torture individuals, child molesting, accusing individuals. I am to treat them like I would a client. That's not happening. I'm not working. I'm going to handle that situation how I'm going to handle it. I'm under no obligation to respond to you or use a therapeutic intervention on people who are completely off the chain, abusive, and threatening me. Absolutely not. I don't know where the heck anyone told you that. What I have never done and I will never do is ridicule someone or diagnose anybody. I don't have a desire to do it. I don't have any urge to do it. I'm not trying to control myself from doing it. So even if someone mentions, oh, I have this issue, I have this condition, I'm not the physician. I'm not here to confirm. I'm not the person's treatment provider. I'm under no obligation to believe what the person says. Straight up. You can if you'd like. But don't forget, I am responding to what someone is saying. I am not picking out, this person said they have mental health issues. So guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to attack this person. No, I respond. And every single response that I have verbalized and articulated is completely 100% sound. I haven't mentioned one thing about somebody's mental health status or evaluated anyone. I can say that I don't believe anything someone says. And you know what? I don't even do that during my professional services. Somebody comes through the door and they've got a whole list of diagnoses that they're rattling off. I'm going to just accept what they say. That's derelict. I have to go on the hunt. There's a whole process I have to undertake. I'm listening, but I'm not going to just accept that someone says they have this diagnosis. I would look like a fool accepting what they stated and trying to get my behind up on a witness stand and have to undergo questioning about how I verified a diagnosis or how I came to a conclusion. Oh, because the person told me. Talk about derelict. You go on the hunt. Here, I'm not going hunting anywhere about anybody's mental health conditions or medical conditions. People, are you serious? You have a person up here thinking she can come onto a live stream that is run by an educator, no shame in the game, and accuse Rev G of being a child molester, sexualizing his wife, and it went on for 2 hours. It doesn't matter that the quote host tried to give information about Rev G to kind of stave off this person. The person was out of control. But it went on and on and on. It just continued. There is a very big difference. No one should have to endure an accusation like that without having the ability to come back on social media and answer to that. So for a person to say after that, well, I've got mental health issues, I've got this, I got that, that's manipulation. That's how my answer. There's no reason for me to get upset. Dumpsey goes flying off the rails. I'm not flying off the rails. Fly off the rails for what? If you make a statement and you are a public servant and you cross the line, I'm going to respond. I do not care in any way, shape, or form what you profess to have. You need to go to a court and get the judge to silence me. But you're not going to use your so-called conditions to attack me and think because I'm a therapist, I'm going to say, oh, well, I'm going to just ignore that. Not if you're a public servant. If you are not a public servant, I will likely not address you. You can have your opinion. Public servants do not get that pass. Not from me. They're not going to get that pass from me. So that is the difference. So we're going back to Dumpsey, who says, I want to be a facilitator, but you're ridiculing someone that you says has DV convictions. How then are you appropriate for facilitating a DV group? You wouldn't be appropriate. You are ridiculing people for their shortcomings when they've been involved with the justice system. How can then you have credibility to be an effective service provider? You do not. Absolutely deplorable conduct, people, and proud of it. Laughing. Are you going to be laughing at these people who you say you're going to be helping when they come through the door? What separates? There is no separation. It's his attitude towards people where he sees a quote flaw, a verified flaw in his mind, because with these other individuals, what's a verification? I have no verification. So there's no verification. I'm therefore going to what? Oh, let the person say what they want. If a person is unable to handle responses to their comments, they shouldn't be online. That's my response to that. So there's no guilting of me with that issue. You can go right ahead. I am not standing in your way. I never was. File any complaint in the world. You cannot hold me to anybody's conditions. I am not someone who has access to your medical records. And if you can't handle what is said in response to your slander, your verbal abuse, your libel, your accusations that Rev G is a child molester, then you need to get off social media. You're not going to stop people from responding to your inappropriate behavior and your unethical conduct as a public servant. I wanted to make sure I came on here. I don't want to go on because to me it's disgusting. You can't have it both ways. You can't come up here and ridicule people for having criminal records and then you say you're going to be working with people involved with the justice system. No way. That is absolutely a severe violation of ethics. And the same thing occurred with, there was a person who people were disclosing he was a registered sex offender. Dumpsey came on and vilified this person. That is not appropriate for anyone in the mental health field to come on and publicly ridicule someone who is a registered sex offender. It doesn't matter what your personal opinion is. You need to hold the opinion to yourself. Now, if the person is acting inappropriately, non-law abiding behavior, you can call that out. But to ridicule the person and shame the person for being justice involved when you claim you are going to go for being a DV service provider where you're going to be dealing with people who are justice involved, that's hypocrisy. That's vile hypocrisy, and it's not acceptable. And I'm making sure I'm coming on and I'm addressing this. So anybody out there who wants to try and say, oh, well, you're doing this, they have zero context. The listening skills aren't there. All they think about, I've got to get anti-Afro Bengalis. I don't care whether or not you listen to the different sides of an argument. You have tunnel vision. That is why it's not worth having these people come to the channel, because they're incapable of listening and looking at what someone else is saying and focusing on what someone is saying versus focusing on the person, him or herself, and attacking their wives, talking about their sex life, being verbally abusive, and not worth it, people. It is absolutely not worth it. We would rather deal with each other on DM, on email, by text message, if we need to do that. We do not need all these people in this space. That is not what we are here for. That's what Dumpsey's there for. That's what these imposters are there for. They're out to make money. And they're frustrated because we won't give them the content that they want. Well, that is their problem. people recognize the inappropriateness, again, of a mental health professional coming online, taking someone's criminal record and ridiculing them publicly. It is unethical, it's inappropriate, it's not acceptable. In the meantime, you know the drill. Buyer beware.